Before we get into this episode, I need to introduce one more important person in this story. His name is Respighi. Respighi was a scammer. Scamming is a huge thing in Roblox, something many so-called traders do where they want to take advantage of someone in some sort of way. Some scammers will try to be your friend for a long time and then take your item a couple months later. Those are the dedicated scammers. The crappy ones were the ones who said they could give you Billiards Club if you gave them your password. Either way, it happened, and it happened a lot. Respighi would be your typical scammer. He preyed on the naive and only thought of himself. He was a shady opportunist. That's how I viewed him at first. But no matter how bad someone may be, there has to be even a little good in them, don't they? Even a lowly scammer could change, right? Respighi and I eventually met, and here's how we crossed paths. But first, let's get back into where I left off from last time. So, newly Dominus Infernus owner? That's pretty dang cool. I felt like a big shot, that's for sure. I'd go to places like Tycoons and play just to see my character in game wearing the hat. It was an extra bonus when people would see me wear the hat and freak out because someone was rich enough to afford it. I couldn't even believe I was rich enough to afford it. I wasn't even rich. So you think at this point I would be content with getting my awesome Dominus finally, right? I'll just hold on to this hat and cherish it forever because it was a real achievement. Nope. I wanted to risk it all over again. I wanted more thrills. I wanted bigger and better. Not long after owning the Infernus, I wanted to go and find a better trade. I wanted a hat that nobody else had. 26 people having an Infernus was too much. I want something that's double 26,000 Robux and half the number of people who own it. Something harder. Infernus was too easy. Give me a better challenge. So I found a hat that at the time it was discovered only 6 people owned it. It had no price on it, but it was really expensive, because the few people who did have it that were active controlled the price. What they said went. Anyway, the hat I wanted to get was the Wynwood Crown. The rarity appealed to me. Not many people knew about this hat. They didn't know its true value, but most people didn't want it, simply because it looked ugly. A hat that has bad demand is never good, no matter the price it's at. Demand means pretty much everything in the world of trading. However, I didn't know that at the time, and I just went for whatever I felt was right. Anyway, I get a hold of a Wynwood Crown owner surprisingly, and his name is BlocksKing6960. He thinks my offer of just a Dominus Infernus is a good deal. What the heck? Everyone else declined or ignored me. Whatever, I'll take the deal. He wants me to go first. I'm supposed to just trust this random guy I've known for 2 minutes via private messaging. Alright, screw it, I'm going first. If he scams me, I lose everything and all my progress is lost. I go first and give him my Dominus Infernus. He gets my hat, and the next thing that he does is give me his hat in exchange. It was that easy. No questions, no hassle. Just 2 people doing business. We were on our way after that. That's not the important part of the story, believe it or not. I'm so proud that I got this hat. At this point, I just had no doubts that I'm some sort of master trader by now. So I go and gloat on the forums. Oh, DarkUdog, you're an idiot. Nobody wants that hat. That hat is garbage. You did a really bad trade. Everyone told me this. Everyone. I had to prove them wrong. When you have a hat that has no demand, trying to get good offers where you profit are very hard to come by. And when they do, that'll probably be the last one for another month or so. So take it and run. So, of course, time goes on and I'm just waiting for a deal. I've got some Robux saved up at this point, and I even got myself a Crimson Cat's Eye. It wasn't too expensive, but it was enough to put a dent in your funds. I was just hoarding all of my items to try and make my Wynwood Crown look more appealing when trading. So every little item in Roblox mattered at this point. Remember when I got scammed? I wanted revenge on that scammer. So I got a hold of someone I heard about. He can scam anyone, and he was good at it. Me and him became friends over the past month or so. He was trying hard to scam this guy, but his efforts were becoming useless. Eventually he gave up. Either way, I'm glad he had my back and tried his best to try and fulfill my revenge. So he knew about my Wynwood Crown problem and how I was trying to get rid of it. So at the time he had an item. It was the Illumina. Really good item, worth quite a bit at the time. He said he'd give it to me for my Crimson Cat's Eye and a couple thousand Robux. That offer sounded absolutely amazing, and I'm glad he took me up with such a great deal. I guess the Illumina didn't matter to him as much since he probably scammed it anyway. Now, I'm an opportunist, so an offer that great coming at me, of course I'll take it. Alright, here we go. I just go first, he's got my item. Okay, great. Now I'll just tell him to give him his item and he's offline. I was scammed. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. I just about had it with all these scammers crawling all over Roblox. I was exploding with anger at myself for getting scammed twice. How did I not see it? He pretended to be my friend and backstabbed me in the end. Never trust a scammer. Getting rid of the Whamwood crown was going to be impossible at this rate. During the midst of my anger, I decided to go inactive for a bit on Roblox. During my inactivity, another user had acquired a Whamwood crown himself. Nobody knew who he was, just some random new guy with very poor grammar on Roblox that claimed to have bought Robux for his birthday. The guy could barely type a sentence even if it meant saving his life. Whatever he did, he was rich, no question about it. That new guy is Respighi. On the forum, someone said that Respighi scammed him out of his red Aussie crown, and if you looked in Respighi's items, he had that same red Aussie crown. Coincidence? Other incidents occurred where Respighi would have more limited items and people saying Respighi is a scammer. So word is that Respighi guy is definitely a scammer. He can't be trusted. Whatever, I just won't trade with him. Simple as that. It's easier to avoid scammers when you know who they are. He's just one of the other several hundred scammers. These small incidents wouldn't be the last I hear of him. All of a sudden, he has a Dominus Imperius. How in... Seriously? That hat was one of the hardest hats to own. Its value was so high. Did he scam it? He scammed a Dominus Imperius? He's going too far. Someone has to stop that guy. Someone. I was Respighi.